Hey, my Facebook family. It is I, Terry Evans, your financial coach. Let me push this off my face a little bit. So, I am here tonight to talk about financial peer pressure. And so, let me say this everybody knows this that watches me often. Why do I have one child of mine that, I almost said irregardless that some people do say that word, that's kind of a word they make up. But regardless to whenever I have to go live, I have one child named Ariana Christine Evans that has to get ice. Why? 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 She waits to 7 o'clock every Thursday to get ice. Why? Can y'all please help me? This it's a psychological thing that y'all need to pray for me to pray for her about this ice thing at 7 o'clock on Thursdays. Ariana Christine Evans, that is her name, so you know who to pray for about this ice thing, this 7 o'clock Thursday night ice thing. Ariana Evans. All right. Okay. Back to what we're talking about tonight. So y'all all know this. Before we really get started talking, one of the first things we need to do is share. Hey Tina, girl, how you doing? I think this is the first time I've seen you on here. So before I jump in, I am about to share this video. Let's see. I'm doing everything wrong, y'all. And you know why I'm doing it wrong is because that child of mine that keeps trying to get that ice, she be throwing me off. She throws me off every Thursday. And so y'all need to pray. Y'all pray. If y'all been praying, y'all haven't been praying hard enough because she's still doing it. Okay. All right. So if you have not done so already, go ahead and share this video. So share. And share. And let me say this. If you are coming on later, do me a favor. Put replay in the comments. Let me know that you are watching. Let me know that you're watching, because you know what? That makes me feel so good. Hey, Ashton. Lord, I just feel so, y'all just coming out. Y'all, I have people on here that don't usually come on. Just make me happy. Okay. So let's talk a little bit, y'all. Let's talk about, because Saturday, if you are a local, anybody that will be in the Central Arkansas area, at the Amy Sanders Library, I will be doing a workshop called Recognizing and Understanding Your Spending Triggers. And so let's talk a little bit about one of these triggers, just one. I'm not going to get too much in detail because that's part of the workshop, but I do want to talk about this financial peer pressure. Y'all, this is a serious thing because, it can really be very emotional. And with young adult children, talking about that peer pressure, because when we think of peer pressure, we think about somebody trying to get us to do something, right? We think about when we were kids and, your mama always tell you, you'll go and ask her, Mama, can I go so-and-so place? Can I go do this? Hey, Raven. Yes, it is. It is free. And so, and you say, Mama, can I go to this party? Can I go to so-and-so party? And because everybody else is going, I want to go to the party. Then your mama turn around and say, if they go jump off a bridge, you go jump off a bridge too. Yeah. And it's not like she didn't already know the answer to it, but that's peer pressure. So that's what we think about when we think about peer pressure. We think about it's something that everybody is doing and you want to do what everybody else is doing. But what about indirect peer pressure? Now, it's the same thing even as adults and financially. And like I said, I have young adults. I have teenagers and I have young adults. And so this financial peer pressure thing is a real thing. even with adults. I'm almost 50 years old. I'll be 50 years in December 50. But anyway, therefore, I still have that financial peer pressure. And so, and it's not so much as somebody said, come on, let's go do this. Sometimes it is. Let me give an example. I was at work last week and I had brought my lunch to work. I had did the right thing, y'all. And I try to do the right thing. I brown bag it most days. I bring my lunch, to work so I don't have to spend money to buy lunch. So I had brought my lunch to work, and one of my coworkers said, well, we're all going to Sam's to get us some barbecue. I was like, ding, ding, what? Y'all going where to get what? And y'all didn't tell me? What? They shouldn't have to tell me. But y'all didn't tell me y'all going to get some Sam's, going to get some barbecue. Okay. What did that pressure do to me? And it was pressure that I put on myself, but because everybody else was getting barbecue and going out to eat, I felt like I wanted it too. And it's funny because before they mentioned going to get the barbecue, it hadn't even crossed my mind. So it wasn't something that I needed or something that I had to have. I was only doing it because everyone else was doing it. And y'all, guess what? Y'all need to spank me. Y'all need to go get a switch. Actually, y'all need to tell me to go get my own switch because I knew better. I need to go get it. And if it ain't big enough, y'all need to say, Terry, go out there and get you another one because it's not the right size. I need my own switch because I did. I said, well, take my card. And y'all know I'm totally against using the debit card. I'm about using cash. But I didn't bring cash that day to work because I brought my lunch. But I was like, take my debit card and go get me X, Y, and Z because I want some barbecue. Financial peer pressure. And I did it only because everybody else was doing it. Foolishness. But I'm going to tell you, it's a psychological thing because, again, it was not something I needed. It was not something I was thinking about. It was not something that I even was craving. Nothing. But because everybody else in the office, it wasn't even everybody else. Some of the other ladies in the office was going out and getting something to eat. I felt I was going to be left out. And because, I wanted some barbecue. Right. And so the pure financial peer pressure is real. Let's even talk about our young adults, y'all. Think about some of us, let's go back. Some of us are still pretty young, but some of us are not as young. But think back when we were just getting out of high school, when we were going to college, when we were just getting out in this world, and everybody was drinking. I can tell you it was a time when I was in college that because I've never been a cursor or a drinker or a smoker. And there's reasons behind that because my daddy smoked as long as I've known him. And he ended up with lung cancer because of it. And I've never drank because I've seen people drink and it wasn't something I wanted to do. And drugs. But when I was around certain people, they would always try to talk me into drinking or they really didn't talk me into smoking cigarettes, but people was smoking cigarettes. Now it's the cigars, it's the Black and Mild, it's the and the weed. Now that they made medical marijuana legal, now we feel like we can legally just do whatever. But anyway, and so we don't realize that the peer pressure to do some of these things is a financial peer pressure as well. Because if we think about it, one thing of cigarettes, if you get pressured into smoking cigarettes and this becomes a habit, one carton, not even a carton, but a carton of cigarettes, I know now it's about $40, $40. Too much. And if you smoking a pack a day, how many cartons do you go through a month? And so that financial pressure now is on you. And now you have to suffer the consequences because now you can't do the things that you want to do. Hey, June, you can't do the things that you want to do because now all of your money is going towards the alcohol, it's going towards the cigarettes, it's going towards the weed or whatever, it's going towards all these things. And it is due to what we call peer pressure. But then it feeds into financial peer pressure. And that financial peer pressure hurts you in the long run. And then, because we develop habits that is very, very extremely difficult to release. And it starts with peer pressure. But these habits, I've been around women that like to eat. And everybody may not see this as being a financial peer pressure. Everybody might not see this as being peer pressure. But as you can see, all of my examples for me has to do with food. Okay, anyway. Been around people that like to eat all the time. They like to go out to eat. When we socialize, we don't go to the park. We don't go, to a concert. We don't go to a lot of these things. We usually end up eating. Even if we go to the movies, financial peer pressure. If you go to the movies with somebody, you may have decided y'all, okay. We brought our water and whatever in our purse, Y'all, I didn't say that. But, and so I'm not planning on spending money when I get in the movie because we know the stuff's so expensive. But y'all, the peer pressure of my friend sitting beside me or my sister, my husband or whomever sitting beside me and they're eating, my boyfriend eating this popcorn. Yes. Now it's time for me to go get me some. And we do it. And it's not something that we have wanted to do. We don't want to do it. Y'all, it's an emotional trigger. Let me tell y'all something. Whenever you do something that you don't want to do, but you do it anyway, you do realize you're stepping over into some emotional things. You're stepping over into some true mental things. And it's not, and we think it is external, but it's extremely internal. Let me say that one more time. Whenever you do something that you do not want to do, but you do it because you have now stepped away from the external and you have moved to the internal. And now you're dealing with mental things, and it has become an emotional and a mental issue that you're dealing with. Because if I don't want to do it, but I do it anyway, that's something that I need to get straight internally. If I don't want to buy some Jordans, what's the shoe now? Vans. If I don't want to go buy me some Vans yet because so-and-so has some and I'm not going to be outdone, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. That's you've moved from a physical action to a mental action because you have literally flipped off the switch to what you want to do, and you have taken on not necessarily the identity of somebody else, but you are doing what they want to do. You have taken on their desire. And so basically, and to be honest, that's all peer pressure is. Peer pressure is doing something based on what someone else does, whether it's directly asking you to do it or telling you to do it or pushing you to do it, or indirectly doing something and you want to do it. Y'all, I see people coming on, but I cannot see nothing. And I'm sorry. And for a minute I was seeing it, but I can't see it anymore. And I like to say hi to the people that comes on. So, let me do this so I can see y'all. Sorry, y'all. Okay, so if anything, whatever you do, Again, that pressure is doing something that you don't want. You're doing something because someone else is enticing you to do it. It becomes a lust, an enticement, and you do it not because of something that you wanted to do. And sometimes you don't want to do it. Think about this. Here's another financial peer pressure. Women in the weddings. I know some couples that they don't desire to have a big lavish wedding because it costs a lot of money. And because parents, because friends, because of relatives, and because of what other people desire, we put on this big lavish wedding for the other people, which only lasts a good hour. And you spend thousands on thousands and thousands of dollars based on what your parents may want, based on what your other relatives may desire, based on what your friends and everybody else may desire. And so that is a financial peer pressure, because you're doing something because somebody else is pressuring you to do it. Someone else is enticing you and telling you to do what you should do. What about vacations? What about family vacations? What about when your family said, okay, well, we're going to go on a cruise this year, and everybody's going on a cruise. Everybody in the family is going on a cruise, and it's going to be X amount of money, and I need everybody needs to pay X amount of money to go on a cruise. What if you don't want to go on a cruise? But you go just because you spend your money just to satisfy another individual. That's when it starts to get into a mental thing. And then when it becomes a habit, when you begin to do things over and over again, it may not be the same thing, but it may be the same philosophy. It may be the same type. It may be, mental thing, because it has become a habit. If you're always, because somebody else suggests, even though you don't want to do it, you do it anyway. If just going to a restaurant, the girls get together, okay, y'all, we're gonna go to Benihana's. We all know Benihana's can be just a tad bit expensive sometimes, or some of these more high-end restaurants, it's just gonna be a little bit expensive, and you don't have the money, but you will pull out a credit card because you have allowed the influence of someone else to influence you to go into debt. And I know we don't think about it at that time. We don't think about it as being peer pressure. We don't think about the consequences until the consequences arrive. Going back to the vacation, if I spend $1,000 to go on a vacation, to go on a cruise, and this is something I really didn't want to do in the first place, but I spent $1,000 for this cruise, and it's $1,000 per person to go on a cruise, and just me and my husband go because it's a family thing. My kids, they have to figure something out, but that's $2,000. Do I have an emergency fund established? Am I trying to establish that emergency fund? But I'm taking the money from that emergency fund and doing something that I really don't want to do anyway. That, again, we are stepping into a mental thing. We're moving out of the physical into the mental state. Why is it that you allow external things to get you to spend your money, especially when you know that you're trying to save and trying to do things and trying to pay off bills, trying to get your mortgage paid down, trying to get your car notes paid off, trying to establish emergency funds, trying to start investing, you're trying to get prepared for your future, you're trying to do all these things. And I'm gonna tell you, whenever you get ready to really make a decision to do it, you best believe everything and everybody's gonna come out the woodworks wanting some money. But see, we have to make that decision that regardless to what other people say or that people do, that's just like right now, I have been for the past 3 days been on basically a fruit and vegetable cleanse, fruit and vegetable diet, because I have some things that's going on with my body that I know I need to reset my body. So I said for 3 days, 3 to 5 days, I'm doing nothing but fruit and vegetables. Tell me why. No other time did nobody do this. But as soon as I do this, people coming with waffles. Y'all, you know it's Waffle Wednesday. We need to go get some waffles. Lord, you know I love my waffles. You know I love my waffles. But I made a decision that I want it bad enough. I want to be healthy bad enough not to eat the waffle. Then on the same day, y'all, no coffee. Nope, no coffee, nothing. It's just been fruits and vegetables. And so on the same day, what was it? It was something. It was like one of my favorite places on the same day. So Wednesday, no, this was yesterday. Then yesterday, one of my meetings, they had Chick-fil-A, y'all. Chick-fil-A. Free Chick-fil-A. It's one thing when you have to go buy your Chick-fil-A, but when you get it for free, you know you don't pass free up. Not Chick-fil-A. And they had the chicken nuggets, y'all. I sat there in that meeting. They had salads and they had fruit. And I promise you, and I'm not a crier. Everybody know I'm not a crier. I promise you a few tears had to come down my face in that meeting because I wanted them chicken nuggets just that bad. But I had made a decision. Nobody else made the decision for me. I made a decision that my health is more important than eating those chicken nuggets at that moment. That my muscles were more important than me eating the waffles that day. And the same thing has to go for you when you get ready. When you get ready to make a choice and you really want to be financially independent, you really want to be financially free, you make a choice to do the things that you need to do to get to where you want to go. And so anyone and anything else that tries to come in and trip you up, honey, find a door, because it ain't happening here. And that's how you have to be. You have to make a choice. And that choice, I can't go without coffee. Y'all, you say you can't go without coffee, but you can. I thought I couldn't go without meat, but I'm realizing I can. And, even though bread is a thing, and I'm not a big bread person, but I like my waffles and I like sandwiches and pizza and stuff but I can't do it right now. It's just for 3 days. Everything that I wanted just came to my face in 3 days. 3 days. I was just talking to one of my clients a minute ago, and he was saying something about Wendy's. And I was like, man, you are messing with my emotions right now, because a hamburger sounds real good right now, but I can't have the bread or the meat. But y'all, I'm pressing through. But okay, back, y'all. I keep diverting. I'm sorry. I keep digressing. That's the word. I keep digressing. Let's make some progress. Let's go back to the finances. But when you're serious about making a change, you are serious about doing what it takes. And all the pressure, all the external pressures that's around you that is going to try to convince you to do X, Y, and Z with your money, you have to start at some given point, make a stance and say, no, this is not going to happen. No, I'm not going to spend my money. No, I'm not going to pay for lunch. I brought my lunch. No, I'm not going to buy this because I don't need it. I mean, even our children, it's not considered peer pressure when it's your children, because they're not in your same, demographic, your age range and so forth and so on. But our kids pressure us just as much as other external forces. And I talked about this the other week on the radio about influences. And our kids influence us a whole lot when it comes to our finances. And out of guilt, we do things for our children that it's not necessary. And we teach them by doing so is everything that you want, you can get. That's not reality. That's not life. You need to learn right now that no is going to help you in the long run, because you need to realize that every time you want to go spend some money, we can't spend money. That's not how adulting work. And see, that's what's happened to a lot of our children, because I was one of those parents that said, I'm not gonna treat my kids the way my parents treated me, and I want to make sure that my kids have everything that they want and desire and need, all their needs are met and this and that. Okay, once I got past to all their needs are met, I didn't have to do all the other stuff. But we complain that our kids have this syndrome where they feel like everything is supposed to come their way. But we have trained our children that way, because every time they ask for something, we're spending the money, even if we don't have it. Even if we know we don't need to spend it, we're spending the money. Even we know we're trying to save. We need to save for this. But Johnny and Susie wants to go on this trip with their friends, or they want to go to the trampoline park, or they want to go to wherever they want to go. And so we would take money out of our savings. We would take out a credit card. We would take money that is set aside for our bills to give to our kids for stuff that's not necessary. We need to start teaching our children not only about regular peer pressure, but about financial peer pressure, because they're pressuring you. That there's just financial pressure. They're pressuring you to do what they want to do. And a lot of times we give into it. And so we have to recognize the influences. We have to recognize the pressures. We have to recognize everything that is trying to stop us from accomplishing our goal of financial freedom. Everything, whether it's parents, whether it's children, whether it's friends, whether it's co-workers, I don't care what it is or whom it is. We have to recognize even our own, our own desires, because we desire some things. It's a desire, but not a need. And I've said this before, how we have to learn to be uncomfortable for just a moment so we can be comfortable, even if it's uncomfortable, being uncomfortable for a year or 2 or 3 or 4, but then you got the next 40, 50 years of enjoying life. Y'all, we got to get it. We got to get it together. We have to. But the only way we're going to get it together, we got to start with ourselves. We got to start with our mind. Nobody else can tell you what to do. You have to say, this is it. I'm doing it. This is it. I'm losing weight. This is it. I'm getting healthy. This is it. I'm becoming financially healthy. This is it. And not only say it, believe it, and begin to walk in it. Because if you are not believing what you're saying, you're just talking. You got to believe it. You got to think it. You got to believe it. You got to say it, and then you have to walk in it. And we're going to be financially free people. We're going to walk in our freedom. We're not going to be embarrassed because we don't have money for X, Y, and Z. And that's another peer pressure, and it causes embarrassment because we want to do people. Our friends might want to do something, we might not have the money, and we're embarrassed to say we don't have the money. Why? We're embarrassed to say, well, I can't go because I'm trying to save. Why? That is not anything to be embarrassed about. You should be proud that you're standing your ground. You should be proud that you're saving and you're getting your emergency fund together and you're saving for some future goals. You should be proud that you are investing. Now, instead of taking this money that I was going to spend to go get my barbecue, like I did, I'm going to take that money and I can invest. You can invest with as low as $5. I can invest. or I can put it towards a bill or debt that I have. I can pay some bills early. I can start saving. There's so much we can do if we will channel that pressure into the right direction. If you're going to pressure me, I'm going to look at it and I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to take what you're telling me to do. I'm going to go do something. I'm going to go do this with it. That's what you pressure me to do. I think this is what you're trying to tell me to do. Yes. And so we just got to get ourselves together on that. All right, y'all. I've been here 30 minutes. 30 minutes. I was trying for 20, but I went 30. I was talking. But before I get off here today, let me remind you, anyone in the Central Arkansas area, I will be at Amy Sanders Library on Saturday morning from 10 to 1, and we will be talking about some of these very things, recognizing and understanding your spending triggers. Because once you recognize them and understand them, then you can do the work to get rid of them, or you will know what to do when they come up. And so y'all join me. It's $15. You all join me. Come on. $15 is not much. We spend that much on coffee during the week. So y'all come on. All right. So I will see you all then. And remember, you must have a positive mindset, positive words, and positive habits in order to enjoy your positive treasures. Y'all, I will see y'all next week, same time, same place, right here on Terry's Financial Sense next Thursday at 7 p.m. You all have a blessed and wonderful, and everybody that's graduating, let me say this, congratulations. And I am so proud of all the graduates, whether you're graduating from high school or college, it doesn't matter. You are blessed, and celebrate your day, celebrate yourself, and congratulations to everybody. Happy graduation. And I will see you all. Well, y'all, I won't be back next Thursday. I will have to do it another day because my niece graduates. I have 2 nieces graduating next Thursday. And so I won't be back next Thursday, but I will find a day next week that I don't have a graduation to go to, because next week is kind of graduation week, this week and next week. So I'll find some time to come on here, if not for 5 minutes, and just give a tip or something. But I will see you all sometime soon. You all have a blessed and wonderful evening. All right, y'all. Good night.